Hi everyone, I'm Aman Malik, and in this video, I'll be showcasing 3 Tkinter GUIs that I've built as part of my assignment. Tkinter is a Python's standard GUI library, and it's great for creating simple desktop applications. First up, we have mathquiz.python. Mathquiz.python is a simple GUI application that you basically take a quiz in. You start off with the main screen, which consists of the title, the difficulty level, and 3 buttons: easy, moderate, and advanced. These buttons allow the application and the user to choose how hard their questions will be. The easy difficulty, for example, consists of returning single digits, the moderate, double digits, and the advanced, 4 digits. Let's get started. You're presented with 10 questions and are tallied depending on your answers. If you enter a correct answer, you get 10 points. If you enter the wrong answer, you get a second try to enter the correct answer once more. Entering the correct answer gives you 5 points on the second attempt. If, for some reason, you entered the incorrect answer both times, it skips to the next question. That's the basics. Let's get on with this quiz. We are at the final question. Let's get this one wrong. And we have a rank. This rank is based upon the score that you got. If it's above 90, A+, above 80, A, and so on and so forth. You have the button to play again, choose a difficulty, and repeat the quiz all over again. As for the code, it's, while looking quite daunting, actually quite basic. We start off with initializing the GUI. Then we create and pack all the widgets into it, that being the title, the frame, all the 3 buttons, and so on. This is the difficulty handling and menu handling. Here's where we have the initial difficulty. So the difficulty level text, the 3 buttons, and then the generation of questions based on the difficulty, that being the difficulties easy, moderate, and advanced. Questions are handled based on difficulty once again, and according to the assignment's criteria, the operators chosen are addition and subtractions. So we have a bunch of functions, and each function pings another function until eventually you get to the end of the exam. We have the feedback criteria as well, and the score creeping. We need to check if an answer is correct, as well as error handling in case you enter invalid integers or text strings, whatever that's not acceptable for the program. At the end, when the quiz finishes, you get your score based on the getRank function. Of course, there's also all the other utility functions, such as clearing the screen for the next screen, generating random integers, so on and so forth. Moving on, we have the second GUI. Alexa Tell Me a Joke is a file handling exercise. In here, we were given resources, randomjokes.txt. Inside this file are a bunch of jokes that the program randomly chooses, shows you the punchline, or shows you the setup, waits for a key input, and then shows you the punchline. Let's find out. Welcome to the joke teller. You press the button, Alexa, tell me a joke. It gives you a setup. You press a key, it gives you a punchline. Quite simple, quite basic, and you can repeat it as long as you want, each time randomly choosing a joke. One of these jokes I had noticed while making the GUI ended with 3 dots. However, that was not being interpreted correctly by my application, and so we had to ensure that when the file was being read, we encode as UTF-8. So, into the code we go. We have the joke management functions. These manage the file essentially. The first one is load jokes from the file path. where we load the jokes, ensuring that the encoding is UTF-8 because of this joke with the 3 dots in it. And then, after the jokes have been loaded, we tell a joke. We display a random joke on the GUI once the button is pressed. We wait for a key press, and once the key has been pressed, we show that joke. In this case, the punchline of the exact same joke, which we use text formatting to strip from the same line, because each joke is only in one line, with the punchline and the setup being half-halves. Some formatting for the GUI to look a bit pretty, and then the main loop repeating over and over so that the GUI is visible and dynamic. Finally, the one I'm most proud of, the student manager. This one took me the most effort and time, so let's get right into it. The student manager is an application that keeps, shows, sorts, and displays all of the student marks present in this studentmarks.txt. The first line displays how many students this file contains, in this case 10. Then their student ID, the student's name, 3 different test marks, and then finally their exam marks. If we go back to the GUI, we can see that the display area is empty. However, if we click View All Records, it shows all 10 students with their name, their ID, their total, their exam marks, the overall percentage, which is calculated based on their coursework total, which is the test total, and the exam mark total, which is out of 100. And then they're assigned a grade based on said percentage. The same is true for all other students, and at the end of this display, we have the total students and the average of the class. The next button is Show Highest Score, which strips everything away and only shows the student that got the highest score, in this case, Alan Shearer. The opposite is true for the Show Lowest Score button, which does the same, but for the student that got the lowest score. Then, we have the Add Record button. This allows us to, as you've guessed, add a record. You enter a student number, let's say 1693, and then it'll ask you to enter that student's name. Let's say Aman Malik. Then their first course, which is test 1. Let's say 15. Test 2, say I did good, I got an 18. And then test 3, I got lazy, I didn't study, I got an 8. Finally, the exam, I learned my lesson from test 3, I put in some effort, and I got an 80. It instantly adds the name and all the relevant information to the text file. It also updates and runs the View All Record function to show the name at the output window. So as you can see, at the bottom now, we have 11 students, the average percentage has changed, and a new student is there. Of course, I noticed a mistake in my exam. I take it up with the teacher and I'm like, "Sir, I think this might be an issue." And they check it over, and it turns out, yes, there has been a grading error. Well, you can update records. So, which student do I want to upgrade? Update myself, of course. And it asks me what field. Well, the exam that I noticed a discrepancy in. So, we do that. Well, what are the new marks? Say it was a 2-point question, so it's an 82 marks now. It updates that in the file as well, as you can see. And it reruns the View All Records button, or the View All Records function, and updates the output as well. Let's say I decide the school year's come to an end, and I leave the school for another one, but my name is still in the record. Well, we can delete it. That's where the 6th button comes in. So, let's do that. And now, my name's been removed from the list. Again, the delete record button also, at the end, runs the View All Records function and updates the GUI. So, now there's only 10 students. Of course, you can't always be scrolling through the list to find that one specific student in case you need to check them. That's where the individual records come in. You can go to the drop down and choose whichever student you want. For example, Matt. We can choose him and then click the View Individual Record button, which shows us just their record. Of course, we can also sort the records. That's where this button comes in. This allows us to sort ascending or descending. So we have the lowest records if we sort by ascending, and at the very bottom we have the highest record. The same is true the other way around. With descending, the highest record is up top and the lowest at the bottom. That is about it for my Tkinter GUI showcase. I am very happy that you guys came to see it, and I hope you found it interesting. If you have any questions or any suggestions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching.